gentlemen, they tell you something, fear is the greatest liar you will ever meet. It whispers in your ear, you can't do this, you're not ready. What if you fail? And you know what? Fear isn't trying to protect you, it's trying to trap you. It's a thief that steals your dreams, locks up your potential, and leaves you standing still while life moves on. But here's the truth, fear is not your enemy. Fear is proof that you're alive. It's proof that you're stepping into uncharted territory, and that's where the magic happens. I've been afraid, I've been so afraid that I wanted to turn back, sit down and give up. But let me tell you something, courage doesn't mean you don't feel fear. Courage means you feel the fear and you move anyway. You have greatness within you. You were not born to live small, to stay in the shadows of what could have been. Fear might stand in your way, but you've got to stand taller. Don't let fear dictate your decisions. Don't let it keep you from trying. Because here's the thing, every single one of us is going to face failure. But failure isn't the opposite of success, it's a stepping stone to it. When fear shows up, you tell it, you don't get to decide my future. The life you want, the dreams you hold in your heart, they are on the other side of fear. And no, it won't be easy. Yes, there will be setbacks, but the pain of discipline and courage is far lighter than the regret of never trying. I want you to imagine the life you could live if fear wasn't in the picture. Imagine the opportunities, the relationships, the achievements you could reach. Now ask yourself, am I willing to let fear stop me from living that life? The answer must be no. This is your moment. This is your time to step out, step up, and look boldly at what it takes. You're not alone. Others have walked this path before you, and they've conquered their fears. Now it's your turn. Remember, everything you want, everything you're capable of, is waiting for you just beyond that fear. So take the leap. Feel the fear and then tell it, you're not stronger than my dreams. You're not bigger than my purpose. I will not let you stop me. But when you do that, you'll discover what you've been searching for all along. The power, the greatness, the unstoppable force has been within you the whole time. Go for it, your future is calling. Fear is a natural part of growth. It's a universal experience that every one of us encounters at some point in our lives. The very act of stepping into the unknown, of chasing dreams that stretch us beyond our comfort zones, triggers fear. It's a signal that we are alive, that we're pushing the boundaries of who we are and what we can achieve. Yet, too often we misunderstand fear. We see it as a stop sign instead of a green light, as a barrier instead of a stepping stone. The truth is, fear is not meant to stop you. It's meant to propel you forward. It's a companion on the journey of growth, and how you handle it determines whether it becomes your fuel or your wall. When you think about fear, what comes to mind? Perhaps it's the pounding in your chest, the sweaty palms, the shaky knees when you're about to take a risk or try something new. That physical response is your body preparing for action, not retreat. Fear is your mind and body telling you, this matters. Pay attention. It's a sign that you're on the edge of something meaningful, something worth pursuing. The challenge is in how you interpret and respond to that fear. Do you let it paralyze you, or do you let it ignite you? Fear, if allowed to take control, can build walls around you. It whispers doubts and convinces you to stay where it's safe and familiar. It's easy to fall into that trap because staying comfortable feels secure. But let me ask you this, how much of your life are you willing to sacrifice for the sake of comfort? Every wall built by fear blocks opportunities, dreams, and the incredible person you are capable of becoming. Those walls may feel protective, but in reality, they isolate you from the life you deserve. Now imagine taking that same fear and using it as fuel. Instead of letting it stop you, use it to drive you forward. When fear says you can't, answer back with watch me. When it says, what if you fail? Respond, what if I succeed? Fear can become the spark that lights your fire. It can push you to prepare more, work harder, and dig deeper. It can remind you that what you're about to do is important, that it's worth the effort and risk. Let fear sharpen your focus, not dull your resolve. Think about the moments in your life when you grew the most. Were they times when everything was easy and predictable? Or were they moments when you faced challenges, uncertainties, and yes, fear of growth happens outside your comfort zone? It happens when you step into the arena knowing you might stumble but choosing to try anyway. Fear is a sign that you're in that arena, that you're playing the game of life instead of sitting on the sidelines. Every time you push through fear, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than you thought. You build confidence and resilience brick by brick. Fear doesn't mean you're weak or incapable. It means you're human. It's not something to be eliminated. It's something to be settled and harnessed. The key is to change your relationship with fear. See it as a guide, not an enemy. When it arises, take a moment to acknowledge it. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of? Why does this scare me? Often you'll find that your fear is rooted in uncertainty, in the possibility of failure or rejection. But here's the secret: every great achievement comes with those same possibilities. The difference lies in what you do with them. Use fear to remind yourself of your courage, your dreams, and your purpose. Let it be the energy that fuels your determination to keep going. When you reframe fear as a natural and necessary part of growth, you take away its power to stop you. You turn it into a tool, a motivator, a source of strength. Growth and fear go hand in hand, but only you can decide whether fear will build walls around you or serve as the fuel that drives you to break through them. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they allow fear to paralyze them. This truth is one that often goes unnoticed or unspoken, but it lies at the heart of why so many dreams remain unfulfilled and why potential is left untapped. Fear is a force that has the power to stop us dead in our tracks, even when we are fully capable of achieving what we set out to do. It whispers doubts, magnifies risk, and convinces us to abandon our pursuits before we even begin. It's not the lack of talent, intelligence, or resources that holds most people back. It's the grip of fear on their minds and hearts. Fear can be sneaky. It doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it disguises itself as practicality or caution. It tells you to wait for the perfect moment or to gather more information before taking the next step. It suggests that you aren't quite ready yet or that the timing isn't right. And while there is wisdom in preparation, fear often takes this guise to keep you from ever starting. The perfect moment never comes, and fear keeps you stuck in the endless loop of waiting, analyzing, and second-guessing. The paralysis caused by fear is not a reflection of your abilities. Many people who are frozen by fear have all the skills, talents, and resources they need to succeed. They have prepared, studied, and worked hard, yet fear holds them back. Why? Because fear creates a mental narrative, exaggerates the stakes. It paints failure as catastrophic, rejection as unbearable, and uncertainty as insurmountable. This distorted perspective makes even the smallest risks feel overwhelming, leading people to choose inaction over progress. When fear takes over, it doesn't just stop you from acting, it stops you from believing in yourself. It feeds self-doubt and erodes your confidence. You start to question your worth, your capabilities, and your dreams. Over time, this cycle of fear and self-doubt can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. You don't try because you're afraid of failing, and by not trying, you confirm your fears. The real tragedy is that failure doesn't come from your lack of ability, it comes from never giving yourself the chance to succeed. Think about all the times you've held yourself back because of fear. Maybe it was a job you didn't apply for, a conversation you avoided, or an opportunity you let slip away. In those moments, was it really your ability that stopped you? Or was it the fear of rejection, failure, or judgment? Imagine what could have been different if you had silenced that fear and taken action anyway. How many opportunities had been lost not because people couldn't do something, but because they were too afraid to try? Fear paralyzes because it makes you focus on what could go wrong instead of what could go right. It magnifies the risks and minimizes the rewards. But the truth is, the greatest rewards often come with some level of risk. Growth, success, and fulfillment require stepping into the unknown, facing challenges, and being willing to stumble along the way. The people who achieve their dreams are not the ones who never feel fear, they're the ones who refuse to let fear stop them. Overcoming this paralysis starts with a shift in perspective. Fear is not the enemy, it's a sign that you're stepping into something significant. It's a reminder that you care, that you're pushing boundaries and striving for more. Instead of letting fear dictate your actions, acknowledge it and move forward anyway. Action is the antidote to fear. The more you act, the more you prove to yourself that fear doesn't control you. Each step builds confidence and momentum, breaking the cycle of paralysis. Most people fail not because they aren't good enough, but because they give fear too much power. They let it steer their decisions, define their limits, and hold them back from greatness. Don't let that be your story. Your abilities are enough. Your dreams are worth the risk. Don't allow fear to paralyze you. Choose to act and watch how your life transforms. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's acting in spite of it. The simple truth carries immense power, yet it's often misunderstood. Many people believe that those who are courageous are fearless, that they somehow lack the doubts, insecurities, and anxieties that hold the rest of us back. But the reality is that courage has nothing to do with being fearless. It's about feeling the fear, acknowledging its presence, and choosing to move forward anyway. Courage doesn't eliminate fear, it rises above it. It's a choice, a mindset, and a decision to take action, even when fear is screaming at you to stop. Fear is a natural part of life. It's hardwired into us, designed to keep us safe and protect us from harm. But in many situations, fear becomes more than a survival instinct. It becomes a barrier to growth and achievement. When you're standing on the edge of a decision, a challenge, or an opportunity, fear often rears its head. This whispers all the reasons you shouldn't proceed, the risks, the uncertainties, the potential for failure. It makes you question yourself, your abilities, and your readiness. In those moments, the difference between staying stuck and moving forward lies in courage. Courage doesn't mean that fear disappears. The people you admire for their bravery, the ones who take bold steps, face challenges head on, and achieve extraordinary things, feel fear just like you do. The difference is that they don't let it control them. They don't wait for fear to go away before they act, because they know it never will. They've learned that fear is part of the process and that the only way to overcome it is to face it. They've discovered that courage is a muscle, and every time you act in spite of fear, you strengthen it. Your story begins where your comfort zone ends. This simple yet profound truth captures the essence of growth, transformation, and self-discovery. Comfort zones are the spaces where everything feels safe, predictable, and manageable. They are the routines we follow, the decisions we make without hesitation, and the environments we know well. While there's nothing inherently wrong with being comfortable, staying in that space too long can lead to stagnation. Growth, achievement, and the most meaningful chapters of your story come to life only when you dare to step beyond what feels familiar and venture into more. The comfort zone is alluring because it minimizes risk. It allows you to avoid the discomfort, uncertainty, failure, and challenge. Within this space, you know what to expect and you have control over the outcomes. But while the comfort zone may feel secure, it often comes at a cost. It can keep you from pursuing your dreams, reaching your potential, and discovering the depths of your capabilities. Growth and progress are impossible without change, and change cannot happen if you refuse to leave the safety of what you already know. Stepping outside your comfort zone is where the magic happens. It's where new experiences, opportunities, and challenges lie. It's where you discover who you truly are and what you're capable of achieving. When you push yourself beyond the boundaries of comfort, you begin to write a new story for your life, one that is rich with adventure, resilience, and accomplishment. The moments that define your story, the ones that you look back on with pride and gratitude, are rarely the ones that happen in your comfort zone. They are the moments when you took a leap of faith, tried something new, or faced a challenge that scared you. Leaving your comfort zone doesn't mean diving headfirst into the unknown without preparation. It can start with small steps. Maybe it's saying yes to an opportunity that intimidates you, having a difficult conversation, or pursuing the goal that feels just out of reach. Each time you step outside your comfort zone, you expand it. What once felt unfamiliar and intimidating gradually becomes part of your new normal. This expansion is how growth happens. With every step forward, you build confidence, resilience, and the belief that you can handle whatever comes your way. The end of your comfort zone is also where you find your true strength. Challenges force you to dig deep, to rely on abilities you may not have realized you possessed. They teach you lessons that staying comfortable never could. Failures, while difficult, are some of the greatest teachers. They show you what doesn't work, push you to adapt, and ultimately make you stronger. Successes, on the other hand, reveal just how far you can go when you're willing to take risks and put yourself out there. Both are invaluable and both happen outside the comfort zone. Fear is one of the biggest reasons people stay within their comfort zones. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown, all of these can be paralyzing. But fear is also a sign that you're on the verge of something important. It's an indicator that you're stepping into territory where growth is possible. Instead of letting fear hold you back, let it guide you. Use it as a signal that you're moving in the right direction. The best stories, the ones worth telling, are often those that required you to overcome fear and take a chance on yourself. Your comfort zone, while safe, cannot give you the life you truly desire. It cannot fulfill your dreams, challenge you to grow, or provide the depth of experience that makes life meaningful. The most extraordinary stories begin where comfort ends, because that's where you find the courage to be vulnerable, to take risks, and to embrace change. That's where you discover what you're truly made of and what you're capable of achieving. Imagine the possibilities that await you just beyond the edges of your comfort zone. The opportunities to meet new people, to learn new skills, to pursue your passions, and to create a life that excites and fulfills you. None of these things can happen if you stay where it's safe. They require you to step out, to take that first step into the unknown, and to trust that you will find your way. Your story is waiting to be written, but it cannot begin if you remain in the same place. It begins the moment you decide to leave the familiar behind and embrace the adventure of growth and change. It begins when you take a chance on yourself, when you push through fear and uncertainty, and when you commit to living fully rather than safely. So step outside your comfort zone and watch as your story unfolds into something extraordinary. Success belongs to those who choose courage over excuses. This is a simple yet profound statement that encapsulates one of the greatest truths about achievement. Excuses are easy. They're the shields we use to protect ourselves from discomfort, failure, and responsibility. They provide temporary relief from the fear of stepping into the unknown. Courage, on the other hand, demands action in the face of uncertainty, effort in the face of resistance, and in the face of doubt. It's not always easy, but it's essential for anyone who truly wants to succeed. Excuses are a way of avoiding responsibility. They allow us to justify inaction or failure by shifting the blame onto circumstances, other people, or even ourselves. I don't have enough time, I'm not good enough, it's too risky. These are the stories we tell ourselves to feel better about staying where we are. But every excuse we make is a step away from success. Excuses trap us in a cycle of inaction, convincing us that progress is impossible or not worth the effort. Over time, they erode our confidence and rob us of the opportunities that could lead to growth and achievement. Courage, on the other hand, is the antidote to excuses. It requires you to face the fears and challenges that excuses help you avoid. Courage doesn't mean the absence of fear, it means acting despite it. It's about saying, I may not have all the answers, but I'm willing to try. It's about taking ownership of your life, your choices, and your dreams, even when the path ahead feels uncertain or difficult. Courage is the willingness to step forward, to take risks, and to embrace the possibility of failure as a stepping stone to success. Success requires action, and action requires courage. Every great achievement, no matter how small or large, begins with the decision to move forward despite obstacles. The most successful people in any field, business, sports, arts, or life in general, are not those who have avoided failure or challenges. They are the ones who have faced them head on. They didn't wait for the perfect moment or ideal circumstances. They created opportunities by choosing courage over excuses. They took risks, made mistakes, and learned from them. They understood that excuses might feel safe in the moment, but courage is what drives progress. Choosing courage over excuses doesn't mean ignoring the challenges you face. It means acknowledging them and deciding to move forward anyway. Life is full of obstacles, limited resources, time constraints, setbacks, and doubts. But these challenges are not reasons to stop. They are opportunities to grow. When you choose courage, you shift your mindset from why I can't to how I can. You become solution-oriented, looking for ways to overcome obstacles rather than using them as reasons to quit. Courage also builds momentum. The first step is often the hardest because fear and doubt are at their strongest. But once you take that step, you prove to yourself that you're capable of action. Each subsequent step becomes a little easier and your confidence grows with every small victory. Courage, like a muscle, becomes stronger the more you use it. With consistent action, you begin to see progress, and that progress fuels further courage. Excuses, on the other hand, lead to stagnation. They keep you in the same place year after year, wondering why success feels out of reach. Excuses often stem from fear of failure, rejection, or inadequacy. But fear is a natural part of any worthwhile journey. It's a sign that you're pushing your boundaries and stepping into new territory. Choosing courage means reframing fear as a challenge to overcome rather than a reason to stop. It means trusting yourself to handle whatever comes your way and recognizing that failure is not the end. It's a valuable part of the process. Courage teaches you resilience, adaptability, and the power of perseverance, all essential ingredients for success. When you choose courage over excuses, you take control of your destiny. You stop letting external circumstances or internal doubts dictate your path. You realize that success is not about avoiding challenges, but about confronting them with determination and grit. It's about doing the hard work, showing up consistently, and refusing to let setbacks define you. Excuses might offer comfort in the moment, but they lead to regret in the long run. Courage, though uncomfortable at times, leads to growth, fulfillment, and the achievement of your goals. Success belongs to those who are willing to bet on themselves, even when the odds aren't perfect. It belongs to those who choose to take action instead of waiting for ideal conditions. It belongs to those who understand that excuses only delay progress while courage accelerates it. Every time you choose courage over excuses, you take a step closer to your goals. You prove to yourself that you are capable, resourceful, and deserving of success. So when faced with the choice between courage and excuses, choose courage. Your future self will thank you for it, and your dreams will become your reality. Acting in spite of fear isn't easy. It requires vulnerability and a willingness to embrace uncertainty. Fear thrives on the unknown, and courage requires stepping into it anyway. It's about taking the leap even when you can't see the whole path, trusting that you'll figure it out as you go. It's about raising your hand for the opportunity, making the difficult phone call, or standing up for what you believe in, even when your heart is racing and your palms are sweating. Courage isn't about being comfortable, it's about being willing to be uncomfortable for the sake of something greater. When you act in spite of fear, something incredible happens. You prove to yourself that fear doesn't have the final say. Each time you face your fear and take action, you chip away at its power. You build confidence and resilience. You begin to trust yourself more, knowing that you can handle whatever comes your way. Courage is self-reinforcing. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. As your courage grows, so do the opportunities and possibilities in Patra. Doors open that would have remained closed if you had waited for fear to subside. Courage also inspires others. When you act in spite of fear, you give those around you permission to do the same. Your example shows that it's okay to feel scared and still move forward. It creates a ripple effect, encouraging others to confront their own fears and step into their potential. Courage is contagious, and by choosing it, you contribute to a culture of bravery and growth. Fear will never fully go away, and that's okay. Its presence doesn't mean you're weak or unprepared, it means you're human. The key is to stop waiting for fear to disappear before you act. Instead, let fear be a signal that you're about to do something that matters. Acknowledge it, but don't let it dictate your actions. Remember that courage isn't about being fearless, it's about being willing. It's about taking one step and then another, even when fear is along for the ride. Courage transforms your relationship with fear. It turns it from an obstacle into a companion, something you can live with and work through. It empowers you to move forward in life, not because the path is free of fear, but because you've learned that fear doesn't have to stop you. The greatest achievements, the most fulfilling experiences, and the deepest growth all lie on the other side of fear. Courage is the bridge that gets you there, so don't wait for the fear to fade. Step forward with courage and discover just how strong, capable, and unstoppable you truly are. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. Take the leap. This is not just a motivational phrase, it's a profound truth that separates those who achieve their dreams from those who let them slip away. Fear is often the greatest barrier standing between you and the life you desire. It's the invisible wall that stops you from pursuing your goals, taking risks, and stepping outside your comfort zone. But the remarkable thing about fear is that it only has as much power as you give it. The moment you decide to face it and move forward, you begin to unlock possibilities that once seemed out of reach. Fear is a way of magnifying the unknown. It forces your mind to focus on everything that could go wrong, on the potential failures, the risks, and the challenges ahead. It's natural to feel this way after all. Stepping into uncharted territory triggers a primal instinct to protect yourself from harm. But what fear often fails to highlight is the reward waiting on the other side. The opportunity to grow, to achieve, to transform your life lies just beyond that fear. The key is to recognize that fear is not a stop sign. It's a sign that you're about to do something significant. Taking the leap doesn't mean you won't feel fear. It means you acknowledge its presence and choose to move forward anyway. The truth is, most of the fears that hold us back are exaggerated. They exist in our minds as worst-case scenarios that rarely come to pass. How many times have you dreaded a situation, only to realize afterward that it wasn't nearly as bad as you imagined? This is the nature of fear. It thrives on speculation and uncertainty. By taking the leap, challenge those fears and often discover they were never as big as they seem. On the other side of fear is freedom. Freedom to live life on your terms, to chase your dreams, and to become the person you're meant to be. But this freedom requires courage. It requires the willingness to let go of what's familiar and take a chance on something new. This leap might look different for everyone. For some, it's starting a new career or business. For others, it's speaking up for what they believe in, pursuing a relationship, or leaving behind a situation that no longer serves them. Whatever it is, the leap is always accompanied by uncertainty, but it's also where growth begins. Every great achievement starts with a leap of faith. The people you admire, those who have built businesses, created art, traveled the world, or made an impact, didn't get there by playing it safe. They had fears, doubts, and moments of hesitation, but they didn't let those feelings dictate their actions. They understood that the only way to achieve what they wanted was to step through the fear, to take the risk, and to trust in their ability to handle whatever came next. When you take the leap, you're not just moving toward your goals, you're also proving to yourself that you're stronger than your fears. Each step you take builds confidence and resilience. You begin to realize that fear doesn't have to hold you back, it can be a catalyst for action. The leap teaches you that even if you stumble, you can get back up and keep moving. It's not about being perfect or fearless, it's about being willing to try. The leap is rarely easy. It will test you, challenge you, and sometimes even scare you. But it's also where you'll find your greatest rewards. The joy of achieving something you once thought impossible, the pride of overcoming obstacles, and the fulfillment of living all the way on the side of fear. Staying where it's safe and familiar might feel comfortable, but it won't bring you the life you truly want. Comfort zones are where dreams go to die. while leaps of faith are where they come alive. Imagine standing on the edge of a cliff, looking out at the life you always wanted. The gap between where you are and where you want to be feels daunting. But what if you knew that the leap was the only way to reach it? What if you trusted that even if you fell, you'd find a way to climb back up? That's the reality of taking the leap. It's not about having all the answers or eliminating fear. It's about deciding that your dreams are worth the risk. Everything you want, freedom, growth, success, fulfillment, is waiting for you. It's on the other side of fear, calling you to take the leap. Don't let fear rob you of the life you're capable of living. Step forward with courage, trust in your ability to rise, and leap into the extraordinary future that's waiting for you. Fear shrinks dreams, faith and action expand them. This is one of life's most significant truths, yet many of us allow fear to take hold, keeping our dreams small and our lives confined. Fear is a powerful force. It has the ability to magnify every doubt, inflate every risk, and overshadow every possibility. When left unchecked, it can diminish even the boldest dreams, reducing them to distant, unreachable fantasies. But just as fear can shrink our dreams, faith and action have the power to expand them beyond what we ever thought possible. Fear is often rooted in uncertainty. It thrives on what if scenarios, what if failure, what if I'm not good enough, what if I lose everything. It creates a narrative of limitation, convincing you to aim lower, settle for less, and stay within the boundaries of what feels safe. Fear tells you that your dreams are too big, too risky, or too unrealistic. It convinces you that you're better off avoiding the discomfort of trying and potentially failing. Over time, fear doesn't just shrink your dreams, it shrinks your belief in yourself. It keeps you from taking the very steps that could lead to growth, success, and fulfillment. On the other hand, faith and action are forces that counter fear and bring dreams to life. Faith begins with a belief in possibility, a belief that your dreams are achievable, even if the path forward is unclear. Faith doesn't mean you won't have doubts or face challenges. It means you trust that with persistence and effort you can overcome them. It's the foundation that gives you the courage to take the first step, even when fear is telling you to stay put. Faith reminds you that the unknown is not something to fear, but an opportunity to explore, learn, and grow. But faith alone isn't enough. Dreams require action. Action is what turns possibilities into realities. It's what transforms ideas into results. Fear tells you to wait, to hold back until you're ready, until you're certain, or until the perfect moment arrives. But that moment rarely, if ever, comes. Action, on the other hand, says start now. It doesn't matter if the path isn't perfect or if you don't have everything figured out. Taking action, even small steps, creates momentum. It shows you that progress is possible and that fear doesn't have to control you. The combination of faith and action is what expands dreams. Faith allows you to envision something greater for yourself, to dream bigger than what fear would have you believe is possible. Action turns that vision into a journey, one step at a time. With each step, your confidence grows and your dreams begin to expand. You start to see opportunities where fear once saw obstacles. You discover strengths you didn't know you had. The act of moving forward despite fear opens doors and creates possibilities that would have remained hidden if you had stayed still. Fear is loud and persistent. It will always try to convince you that shrinking your dreams is the safer, smarter choice. But ask yourself, what kind of life do you want to live? A life where fear dictates your choices, keeping your dreams small and your potential untapped. Or a life where faith and action give you the courage to expand your horizons and pursue what truly matters to you. The life you're capable of living is not found within the confines of fear. It's waiting for you on the other side. The process of overcoming fear and expanding your dreams isn't easy. It requires resilience, determination, and a willingness to face setbacks. But every time you choose faith and action over fear, you grow stronger. You begin to see fear for what it is, a temporary feeling, not a permanent barrier. Fear may always be present, but it doesn't have to dictate your life. You can acknowledge it, learn from it, and still choose to move forward. Dreams are meant to stretch you, to challenge you, to inspire you to grow. They are not meant to be limited by fear. Faith and action are the keys to unlocking their full potential. When you believe in yourself and take consistent steps toward your goals, you expand not only your dreams but also your capacity to achieve them. You prove to yourself that fear doesn't have the final say and that your dreams are worth the effort and risk. Fear shrinks dreams, but it doesn't have to define them. You have the power to choose faith and action, to step out of fear's shadow and into the light of possibility. Your dreams are waiting for you not in the safety of comfort but in the boldness of courage. Choose to believe in them, take action toward them, and watch as they grow beyond anything you ever imagined.